Welcome to Unleashed. I am privileged to have in my presence my good friends Malcolm Nance and Lev Parnas, the three unleashed maniacs, as the right wingers would call us.
Him
Malcolm,
now.
Malcolm, how you doing? I see you finally not in a car.
I am. I'm back in my lair in Canada, and as you can see, it's very cold. So I have a cheery fire. It was 31 degrees when I woke up this morning. So I should come visit Lev.
Yes, we should all go visit
We
Lev.
should all do a special Lev only podcast in the sun with margaritas or something.
You're always
Exactly. Lev, how you holding up?
I'm all right, brother. A tough couple of days, but still get through it. But just taking that time to reflect on a lot of shit. Me and you spoke offline. A lot of the stuff that I've been reflecting on is really we'll talk about it later today. But
Mm.
a lot of
Well, I
bullshit.
think the audience, while it's continuing to grow, would like to hear, especially, we are all going to put this out post the end, by restacking it. And we ask each and every one of you to restack it as well. So why don't you tell them what you and I were talking about, and we'll bring Malcolm up to speed as well. And we'll
Yeah.
see whether or not our unleashed family here wants to become a part of it.
Yeah, I'd like to hear about this.
I mean, listen, we've been talking about a lot of things, I got a lot that I want to get off my chest, so, I'm not going to go through our whole list of things that we're talking about. But bottom line is, listen, the frustration and watching what's being played out, and that the fact that, yes, we keep talking about every day, let's go out there and build a community, getting letters, from certain people telling me like, and I just want to, it breaks my heart when I get a letter from somebody telling me that I'm waiting for my social security check to be able to send you my subscription, and God bless those people. But it kills me because meanwhile you got all these fucking billionaires, all this money sitting out there, all these 501(c)s, all of these organizations out there with all this money, and we're sitting here, begging for subscribers. We're sitting here and talk about with the type of information that should be, from somebody like you, Malcolm, as an intelligence officer, like having the type of information that we're talking about on these type of platforms. We should be sitting in the skiff somewhere. We should be there. We should be taking. We should be talked about strategically. How are we saving our country? What are we planning out? What's the game plan? What's going on? Instead, we're sitting here talking about building communities. I mean, I mean, it's disgusting, and the most disgusting part about it is, you know what? I'm tired of covering up for a lot of the people out there. I'm tired of covering up for Shifty Schiff. I'm going to call them what they are: Eric Swalwell, Nancy Pelosi. The people. They are the people that let Trump get away. Everybody out there saying, these are the people that unleashed Trump. They had him in his first impeachment, dead to right. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. They rushed to judge. They went and played their game. They covered up information. And there's shit I'm going to start releasing on all that shit. When Eric Swalwell called me up and said, "Hey, Lev, do you have any information?" And I said, "Absolutely. Here is my attorney's phone number." My attorney calls him up and says, "Lev's ready to talk to you." And all of a sudden they ghost us. When Shifty Shift turns around and says, "Lev, will you," at the last second when there's they need to go and give this information from the impeachment, and they said, "Hey, we don't have enough time to give you any type of deals, so we have to go through all your information." My lawyer said, "You're not doing that." I said, "Yeah, I'm doing that. Give it all," And then when it came down to sentencing, my lawyer calls up Shifty Shift and says, "You know what? Can you write a letter telling that Lev, gave testimony in front of congressional at danger to himself?" he wouldn't even respond. What they get automatic response said, we don't deal with stuff like that. You know what? Fuck Shifty Schiff. Fuck, Nancy Pelosi. Fuck all of them and the horse they rode out on, because they're just as complicit on all the shit that they allowed him to do it. And then some of the people that are continuously doing it, like Gavin Newsom. I'm going to release the text message, Gavin, with your people that said that you don't have time to speak, that you're too busy. I'm going to release those text messages. Prisker, I'm going to release the text messages between your chief of staff that she won't even respond to a phone call. You guys are too busy saving this fucking country. You're too busy making reports. Tired of all your bullshit. Your time. You know what? I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. You know what? I'm here for the people, and that's what I'm going to talk about from now on. And I don't give a shit. And I'm going to call out each and every one of you. I don't care what side it is. So you know what? For those of you that are diehard Democrats, I'm sorry, but it ain't about that. It's about saving our country, and I'm done playing games. So it's on, and like Donkey Kong, like they say, and you have no idea who the fuck you're fucking with, because I am the one that helped put the fucking mega machine together. I know how they work, and I'm gonna help take it apart. And people that either you get on the train or you get off the fucking train. But I'm done playing games, covering up for all this bullshit that you guys, are out there promoting your shit, making money off poor citizens, trying to get them to subscribe to all your donations. All of you out there, you're not even fucking journalists. But believe me when I tell you, it's on.
Well, it's funny because with Susie C hit it right on the nose. She writes, Michael and gang go on tour. Meet us where we are, right? Isn't that what Lev and I and Malcolm, we've spoken about so many times? It's exactly what we have to do. It's exactly what we have to do. We have to meet the people where they are. Problem is, you know, we're not talking even about individual states. You're talking about counties in other counties within the state, within the United States. I mean, there's thousands of them, getting out there and meeting all the people all the time. This is why Lev keeps saying, where's the wealth that turns around and puts this together? You're not going to hear from three other people out there that have more combined knowledge and experience in this than the three of us right here. Why not go out there? I have no problem with speaking to a Joe Rogan. I have no problem with speaking with an Alex Jones. And when I say I'm talking about Unleashed. Lev, Malcolm, myself, we'll sit there, go on the podcast and engage them in a conversation, because you can't change somebody's mind unless you speak to them. And why can't I talk to Joe Rogan? I've spoken to Joe in the past, many years ago, and Alex Jones. Why can't I engage him in a civil conversation? It doesn't have to get to fisticuffs. It doesn't have to be yelling and screaming. It doesn't have to be the performative art that we're seeing coming out of both sides of the aisle. It doesn't need to be that. I have a very different opinion as it relates to NAP. All right, with government assistance for, I don't know, was it 42 million Americans, 17 million children? Why? Because interestingly enough, something I learned not too long ago, what they did to me during the unconstitutional remand, when the first 3 days that I was there, they didn't feed me at all. They gave me zero in terms of food. You know who else they did that to? Lev. They pulled the same shtick. Why?
That's a weapon.
Because they were told to do it. So I understand. Lev understands what it feels like to be hungry. As I wrote in my Substack the other day, it goes to your bones. You're no longer hungry. It's a feeling of despair that rips your soul to pieces. And you know what? It's exactly, Susie, what we need to do. We need to get out there and we need to speak to the people. We need to speak to the Joe Rogans. We need to speak to the Alex Jones. If only to change the mind.
I want to go. Yeah.
If only to change the mind of one person. Just one.
I mean, we could change. There's so many of them. I want the Benny John. I want to bring him all on. The Laura Loomers. Let's go. Let's bring him on. This is what I'm trying to say to you. Enough with the fucking echo chambers. Enough about talking about building a community inside of a community where we're doing it. We need to go. In the meantime, what I talk about every single day. We could sit here and talk about words or actions. Look at what is really going on out there. It's fucking crazy. We're losing. I mean, this is not a joke anymore. I mean, Trump's traveling on the world. He's being treated like a king. The guy's in full blown. His kids are, making billions of dollars in cryptocurrency. They're pardoning anybody they want. And now, what I'm hearing about this is the beginning. They're about to go after people like Cheney and Kissinger. I know you guys are gonna say I'm crazy. I know you're gonna say Michael's told you about. It's about to go down now. The report that Comer just sent over is just the beginning, because now it's over in the DOJ's hands. Now it's up to Pam Bondi. Now Pam Bondi is going to take a look and see which of those pardons are valid, and then they're going to start testing the Constitution. So get ready, folks. This is the next step. This is part of indictments are coming, and believe me when I say to you, plenty of them.
Yeah. Somebody earlier just asked the question, how come you guys don't get together with Miles Taylor? There are a bunch of initiatives going on right now. That one, which I'm surprised by, because I've had three people beating on the door of Robert De Niro. But they now have this new group that they call themselves Defiant.org, which is interesting because 6 months ago, I tried to get someone to start an online webzine called The Defiant. And we have these small, disparate groups of people that are organizing, but they organize in an individualistic way.
Right.
They don't fuse everyone together. The first thing they should have done, instead of putting out a video with De Niro, was to ask every group to come together on a group chat, right? Individual, all the, move on, all these groups, and then fuse the organization. Because I'll tell you something that I was talking about this week that myself and several other political action committees were preparing to launch. Now we've got to go out and talk to the Defiant, which was essentially a constitutional Congress, to have a conference in Philadelphia where we start writing our Project 2029. Right? Our version of Project 2025, so that people can stop bitching about it and start saying, here's a working group on solar power. Here's a working group on justice. Here's a working group on this. And to hold the Democratic Party, which is operating like they don't have anything to do with what's going on, to hold their feet to the fire and say, you now swear yourself to this commitments. And if you don't, we primary you. It's as simple as that. Look, of all the people who have been out there screaming their heads on, I got to tell you, Gavin Newsom sounds like me half the time. He's going, we're under attack, and you people aren't doing anything. And he's the one who's leading the edge, whether you like him or hate him. He is the guy who is now the leading edge of the attack, because it's not just Hakeem Jeffries. It's not Chuck Schumer. It's none of the top Democrats. So we have to do this fight.
But here's the problem.
Go on.
As Lev just pointed out correctly,
Mm-hmm.
and you did as well, Malcolm, they're all in it simply for themselves. I know Miles Taylor. I've known Miles Taylor for a while. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I've had him on my podcast. I've spoken with him. I've met with him in the city. We've talked about doing something. But my goal, like Lev's and Malcolm's, is to build a community of millions, not thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but tens and tens and tens of millions. Like Lev said, he reached out to Gavin Newsom. I reached out to Gavin Newsom. Do you think that I even got the courtesy of a text, a email, a phone call back? No. Hakeem Jeffries, I bump into him over at the Regency. Wants to, oh my God, how are you? Because I was with George Stephanopoulos.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, what's Jeffries doing? He's out there on CNN because he's too fucking busy to respond back to anybody, responding to MAGA Mike Johnson calling him and Schumer irredeemable, making the claims that he's given up on trying to deal with Democratic leadership. By the way, they're the problem. They don't represent leadership. They represent selfishness. All right. It's always about them. All right. And here's what's problem with the Democratic Party. It's not about an individual. We have lost too many people, too many of the silent majority. We've lost them. Why? Because of people like Schumer, because of people like Hakeem Jeffries that don't respond, that don't call you back. And I'm not even saying, it's not like, how do you not call Lev Parnas back? How do you not call Malcolm Nance back? How do you not call me back? Listen, motherfucker, I spent seven congressional hearings, 63 hours. I was subpoenaed God knows how many fucking times. I literally was subpoenaed to testify during the grand jury and to be the key witness against a guy who I used to work for, putting me in the fucking crosshairs of this bullshit. And then what? This motherfucker's too busy to call back? Seriously? And what I forgot, this piece of shit hasn't learned yet. That's the whole problem. They're operating on yesterday's news. We're operating 3 days ahead. That's why our predictions are always spot on. Spot on, because we understand the guy. We understand the thinking. We understand what's in here. These guys are all thinking about, well, how does it affect me and how can I fill my coffers so that, I have more money for my campaign going around next time. It's all about accumulation. They say that the real work for a politician starts the day after he gets elected, and it's called fundraising.
I swear to you.
I got to tell you, one of my problems is that, I think it was Joe Walsh who said this. No one in the Democratic caucus is having their, weekend meetings or are organizing a daily press conference to push back against anything. They are individuals who are out there speaking to the issues, the Jasmine Crockett's and all of those things. But the problem is they don't speak as a body. When Mike Johnson goes there, he's got 10 guys behind him, 15 guys behind him. We don't see that from the Democratic Party. And do you think they would say, I want to bring in Lev, Michael, Joe Walsh, and I want you to brief us on Republican Party tactics. When they're off camera, what are they saying to each other and how are they planning behind closed doors? Because that's how they do it. You guys have been in the room when they have literally said, we're going to fuck them like this.
No, not
we're going to
been
screw
in the
them
room.
like that.
No, we haven't been in the room. We built the room.
You built the room. You were organizing it.
That's it.
Right? That's critical intelligence. Every person in the Democratic caucus should be in a meeting with you where they go, you think you're playing politics. They are out to kill you. They are literally going to get rid of you.
Let me give you this, guys, like this perfect little example. So me and Hunter Biden were speaking a couple of days ago, and we were just talking about going to shit. And I was just saying and I turned around to myself and I said because we were going through this, talking about the same conversation. And I said, just think about this. Like right now, think about what Don Jr. and Eric Trump and Zach Witkoff are doing. How they're taking all this money, how this thing is happening. I said, think about how you did nothing and how we built a machine to believe that you were the most criminal and corrupt individual out there. He goes, yeah. He goes, you did that. I go, yeah, I know I did that. I go, and that's what I'm trying to explain to these people, and I know how to do it to them. Right now, we should have a machine there. Do you understand right now how every day there should be powerful social media accounts, podcasts that are constantly talking about what is happening between how the corruption in the Trump world? Not a press release. Not a press release that said, oh, today, Donald Trump. No, every day. day. There should be big social media accounts set up. There should be
Right.
special, programs. There should be special ads going on every day. There should be special program, 1 hour journalist programs, reports, 60 minute specials. There should be just think about what was going on with Hunter Biden. Think about every day, and he did, and it was like this
Yeah.
one compared to all of
Think
this.
about
Nothing.
less.
Zero. Zilcho.
Think about
Nothing.
the amount. Think about the amount of airtime that Republicans command versus the amount of airtime that Democrats command.
Because
None.
Democrats aren't out
What
fighting.
we need to do, as Lev was saying, is you lock yourself in with groups like Lincoln Project, Midas Touch, with groups like Seneca Project, and you keep flooding the market with brilliant 30 to 60-second clips and ask everybody just to restack them. Like when I write my Substack, when Lev writes his Substack, when Malcolm writes his Substack, we're always asking you, just restack it
Restack
so
it.
other people can read it too. People who maybe don't subscribe to any of the three of us, just restack it. What does it take? A split second, right? I mean, it takes longer to take a full breath than it does to restack something. You just hit the button, right? It's that simple. Imagine if we can take a 30-second video, powerful, emotional. How about a kid sitting there talking and asking his mom or his dad or his grandma, can I have something to eat? And they open up the cupboard and there's nothing there. There's a bottle of cold water. Bottle of cold water. And then you just leave it there. And then you pan to a $350 million ballroom construction. You turn around, you pan to a $400 million golden jet. You pan to a gold crown and a gold trophy, a necklace, right? A Medal of Honor for South Korea. Pan to that. And then turn around and tell the kid, just stick it out. You're going to be okay.
Michael, you could even use Donald Trump's own words, put it in there, how it said, kids don't need $30. Kids don't need 30 pencils. Remember, he warned you. He warned you several months ago. He told you, he goes, it's going to happen. Now you're starting to feel. This was all prepared. This did not happen overnight, folks. This is not, to some of you, because that couldn't believe that it could happen. But we've been telling you this every single day. This is part of Project 2025. That's why
It's
Malcolm
happening.
was saying. That's why Malcolm said we need our own diagram. We need our own game plan. We need something to preach.
Could you imagine another video of the wife of a service member that is actively deployed calling up her friend and asking if she has any leftovers so that maybe she and her kid or children can come over and grab something to eat? Could you imagine the impact of that video? A video of of the wife and the children of a member, a service member, who's out there defending our Constitution, defending our way of life, defending our country and our democratic republic, going hungry. Imagine there you go. Imagine in that same one, another one looking down and seeing that there's no food in the cupboard, but you know what there is on the table? A bunch of invoices and late default notices. Is this how we treat our military? End it with that.
It's not even how you treat your military.
Military deserve better.
Every American deserves better.
Every American, exactly.
Every American deserves better. And okay, we can start with military families or whatever. Yeah, they're out there because they got to still go to work and they still got to do what they got to do. And their families, are starving. Okay, I'm not bragging or anything, but I called a friend of mine runs the Salvation Army in my little town. We have a very little town in New York. And I asked, do you guys need canned goods? What do you need? She goes, diapers. So
So
Numbers
Malcolm,
eight,
did you give
number
them
4,
yours?
5, and 6.
Did you
Right?
give them yours? Aren't they too big for the kid?
No, mine are too big. But they needed size 4, 5, and 6 diapers. I called up Walmart. I made an order. We delivered 1,500 diapers yesterday. It was just that simple. The problem is, she goes, these are things that can't be bought with EBT cards. I didn't know you couldn't buy diapers with EBT cards, which have $0 on them starting tomorrow. 0. What we should be doing is saying this is a disgrace. In this voice, you fucking hate other Americans and you're going to bring them pain. We're going to tear that fucking ballroom down day one. We're going to spend every day coming after you, your family, and every dollar because you're starving American children. You so hate American kids. You hate the poor. You hate the other. You hate your own voters who are the largest shoppers at Walmart. For Christ's sakes, Walmart's line's going to be damaged for 2 quarters, right? Because they're the largest retailer in the United States, and now people aren't going to be buying nothing from them. This is the way that we have to speak. And what I don't want to hear from people is, oh, we have to be civil about this. We have to continue governing. No, shut the whole system down if you don't want the system to work. And I don't mean I was contacted by a very famous political analyst about running a national day of no purchase, blackout, and then continue it to the next day and the next day to where you could do a whole weekend without buying stuff on Amazon and other platforms to show them we have power. Nope. Nobody wants to stand up and be the leader. As we said on one of my Substacks, everybody wants to be the leader till it's time to do leadership shit.
Right.
That's the problem, guys. We say it, we keep saying it, and that's why I've had it up to here, and it's like there's no sustainment, there's no coordination, there's no game plan. Everybody, I'm sitting here as you guys are talking. I'm watching a lot of these messages run by.
I'm reading them.
And I'm reading it and I see it, and people are saying, why don't you meet with this guy and this guy, and these guys are doing this and this guy. And
these
again,
guys don't answer the phone.
Well, exactly. First of all,
can I ask a quick question amongst the three of you? I want to do a quick survey. How many of you have been on Pod Save America?
No, none.
Never. None of us. I've been on Bill Maher's show 5 times. I've been on Bill Maher 5 times. I've never been invited to Pod Save America. These guys think that they are this insulated group of knowledge, and they're the people, I suspect, that are part of the problem. They lock in these groups. They have their email chains and things like that, and they're not communicating with the 76 million people that voted for Kamala Harris. They're communicating amongst themselves, and they don't want to stand up to be leaders. They don't want to do anything.
The problem. That's the problem, because you know what we also learned? That there weren't enough people for Kamala Harris within which to view the election into the direction we needed it to go. So yeah, they are playing to their own community, but I have yet to once ever be invited. Not once.
What does that tell you?
Dude,
what does that tell you? That's like the biggest Democratic political podcast on Apple.
Let me tell you this much. Between you guys, fuck them, man. I don't even want to go on their Democrat show because they're Democrat. I want to go on Fox. I want to go on Fox. I want to go on fucking right-wing media. I want to go talk to the independents. I want to go talk because you know what? These people on this podcast, America, and all of them, unfortunately, it's like it's a mafia. This is what people don't understand. It's all about dollars and cents. Everybody preaches that they want to save America. Everybody preaches that they want to go out there, but nobody returns a phone call. Even the same Robert De Niro's, even the same, celebrity. I'll tell you out there, I have a group of actual incredible, I feel so bad for them. So we have some incredible subscribers. They subscribe to all of us, to you, Malcolm, to you, Michael, and they have been out there on
Hmm.
our behalf. I don't even know if you guys know it, but out there, but I'm not going to call out their name, going out there, reaching, making emails, reaching out to some of these people. And when I'm telling you that none of them, this is the discussion. That's what I'm saying to you. It's not like like they should be all calling up. They should be all knocking on the door. They should be asking, like you said, Malcolm, just a simple fact. They should be saying, "Hey guys, do you mind? Tell me, what do you think? How would he act? Hey, Malcolm, Michael, you spent 14 years with the fucking guy. What do you think he is? Hey, Lev, right now he's about to go meet up with Zelensky. He sent you to put pressure on Zelensky. You met with Putin's right hand guy. I mean, what do you think is happening? Right? I mean, none of this. Not like I mean, just the craziness. Just to think about it. I mean, to think of it. Instead, I turn on the TV or I turn on the Substack and I'm watching these guys with millions of followers and all of this place sit there. We have some guy on there and they're sitting there talking about some shit that don't even make sense. Like I'm like, meanwhile, people are dying in Ukraine. People are dying in the Middle East. There's no peace deals nowhere going on. There's nothing happening. Nobody's talking about anything. Instead, the media is concentrating that Donald Trump is dancing. Really? You give a fuck that he's dancing? He's a lunatic. So what if he's there? Why are we not concentrating on all the shit? Why aren't we having explain? Just think about the media campaigns. Think about the 24-hour sustained campaigns, Fox, Newsmax, OAN, 24 hours a day on X, all of the social media platform, how they would push the deep state, the Epstein files, Hunter Biden, the laptop, all of it
Yeah.
nonstop. It was to a point where everybody was brain. Where's our message? We have one day, we have 7 million people come out. Bravo, va. Everybody, great. No kings. And
One
that's
day
it.
every 4 to 6 months.
Exactly. Exactly. There's no
One
sustainable
day.
because nobody wants to do anything. Everybody. That's what I'm trying to say. It's
They're
crazy.
Everybody wants to
already
be a leader.
memeing, they're already hashtagging, they're already patting themselves on the ass as if this is
Yeah,
the
we had a big
victory that's
protest.
going to bring 2026 to the direction that we desperately need.
Look, we're undergoing in the United States right now, not what Viktor Orban did to turn himself into a successful fiefdom. We're undergoing what happened in Russia. CBS, they put a fucking nut in charge of CBS, Barry Weiss. She just fired 1,000 people and got rid of every black person in the news side. But they reassigned all the white people on the news side. They got rid of their diversity team that was supposed to be trying to get black viewership in. They don't give a fuck. They are consolidating media power under conservative Trump media. They're now talking about that Paramount and wants to do another merger, but the deal would bring CNN and MSNBC under the control of a fucking MAGA conservative. We are literally losing our voices. And how long will it be before somebody puts up $100 million to buy Substack or YouTube and start banning all of us? If we don't speak together now, and that's what we're talking about. When we say hit the subscribe button, you don't have to pay a damn thing to this. Don't pay us a penny. But you better be watching and you better be sharing information because we are being, I'm going to quote Hamilton, outgunned, outmanned, outnumbered, outplanned. And we're going to lose this thing because everyone is in their own fucking silo. Get out of your silos and start demanding everyone start communicating, cross-pollinating.
Lev?
Is that siding enough for you, Michael?
I was gonna say, listen. I mean, it's like we could be the drum all day long, folks. But until I'm tired of speaking. I want to do action, and the only way we're gonna do action is if we unite. And I'm gonna spend the next couple of days with Michael, Malcolm. Let's put together. And you know what? I'm going to do. I think we're gonna do something to the effect where like they have a petition or something. We're gonna do something where we're gonna invite everybody. You see all these names you're calling out. We're going to invite everybody, and let's see who joins. Let's see who joins our group, our fight, our mission. Because we're not about breaking up. We need to do a unified mission, all join together and start spreading the message. We doesn't mean that everybody can't do it. The problem is what bothers me. It's not the point that somebody can't talk about veterans, somebody can't talk about the kids, somebody can't talk about Ukraine, somebody. No, everybody could talk. But but we need to start sending our messages. We need to spreading our voices. We need to amplify each other's voice, and that's not happening on our side of the.
The bigger in on
We're being
par with that.
we silence each other. It's weird.
That's
It's
the
weird.
problem. That
It's
was what I
weird.
was going to say. In essence, everybody is constantly trying to silence the other. I can't tell you how many people who some of you may actually subscribe to on this app will go ahead and say, you know what, they're too radical. I would stay away from them. I've heard this many a time.
Radical.
But here's the problem. Here's something that the GOP, the Republicans, have mastered. Not just understand, but have mastered. What they're doing right now is they stick on 2 to 3 talking points and they hammer it home until you want to vomit if you hear about it again. That's all that they do. Every single one of them turns around, and no matter, you could ask them a question about why is beef prices going up? Well, the Schumer shutdown. That's all that it's
That's right.
basically, no matter
Message
anything that you
discipline.
can do, you need to blame Chuck Schumer and the Democrats, because the message of the day is to distract the American people from what the pain that they are now beginning to experience, and blame it on the Democrats, so that we end up benefiting during the midterms and so on. But what
And
are we doing in advance? We're talking policy. We're talking, as Lev said, about Trump's dancing skills and so on. How stupid does that make us look?
Yeah, you're right.
And
Look,
another beautiful guy, guys. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just want to show you how strategic they are. Just think about it. So now they're going on CNN. All of them are going on CNN, and as soon as Caitlin Collins or one of them, Jake Tapper, asked them a question, they stop and right away go into, "You're right. This Chuck Schumer bill, this Chuck Schumer closed down, this Democrat," and they go into, and you see, and this is what you see from Caitlin and all of them, getting them off and then trying to explain, saying, "But it's like this." But it's, again, the message that is getting out to the majority of the world is what we wanted to have, that this is a Democratic problem, that this is a Chuck Schumer close down. Even today I'll tell you, I mean, it's crazy how bad it is. Today, if you watch CNN clips, so guys, I don't know if you watched it, all over CNN, MSNBC and all of that, they were showing how they were fighting and debating on the floor. And they were showing the debate, they were showing somebody from the Democrat side, but then they would show Thune. And they would show Thune's passionate. And they would give his whole dialogue, his passionate speech. If you turned on the TV and you would listen to what Leader Thune was saying, you don't need to go anywhere further. You would say the Democrats are destroyed. I don't understand how can this be going on. This is how crazy the messaging is going on, and there's no Democrat in sight to count. It's crazy.
Because Republicans have message discipline, Democrats want to have a discussion. And they understand the role. And all the Democrats need to do, I heard Michael say this, Joe Walsh say this, and even Donnie Deutsch say this. Just fucking show up every day to a press conference with all the fucking Democrats. If anyone who's in the House, 1,600, all of you outside, we say one thing. Nope. No, man, I got to go get a haircut. No, man, I got to go do this. I got to do that. What the hell? We're going to lose. And the thing is, we're winning elections in spite of this.
That's
if we were to focus, and that's why I made this saying, I wanted to use FAFO PAC, You're right. Our message should go on the road, right? I just did a speech down in Raleigh, North Carolina for nothing. I flew in from freaking Cairo to Montreal to Raleigh to go down there to talk to a room of about 50 people. The point is, there were 50 people willing to listen.
You
And
know what?
if we have to do this for them in spite of themselves.
You know what? I'll tell you. I mean, I think we need to go this step further. Me and Michael were talking about Malcolm. We
Mm,
need to challenge Alex Jones, Benny Johnson, whoever they want, or bring them on, and
yeah.
let's have a town hall.
Yeah.
Let's have a town hall in Florida. Let's have a town hall in Alabama. Let's have a town hall in Georgia. Let's have a town hall in a red or moderate state where the three of us
Hmm.
could sit down with these three conspiracy theorists and kick their ass and
Yeah.
discuss facts and policies which they can't even handle when it's, with rules, moderations, regulation, I'm saying, obviously not WWE, fisticuffs, but they wouldn't be able to handle it.
Mm,
They would run for us. They can't. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say to you. I mean, there's so many ways that we could, because they are a house of cards. It's all about perception. It's all about lies. It's all about we have facts on our side.
yeah.
The problem is we don't have the sustainment of putting a campaign, an all-out, full-out blitz from every angle. We're trying to be one-shot wonders. It's like, you
Hmm.
know what? It's like in a boxing match, we're like, oh, I just want to, if I hit him one time, I'm going to knock him out. You're not going to do it. You
No.
need to do body punches. You need to be able to throw some to the head, some jabs. Just like in a battle, you're not going to go out by just throwing one bomb and ending the war. You have to have people on the ground. You have to have people in the air. You have to have people on the sea. It's a combination. And right now we don't have that. This is the frustration. It's not doing one thing or the other. Yes, everybody should be doing their own. People that want to generate marches in the streets, great. People that want to do, no kings rally, great. Those things are great. Nobody's saying to stop it. What
Hmm.
we're saying is that there should be a everyday unified message besides that.
Right.
Besides
Well.
all these other things, there should be a unified message combined with our representatives in
Well,
Congress
it's
and
funny.
Senate.
It's
That
funny because generally, as you all know, here on Unleashed, we'll talk about the crazy that's happening, whether it's the 1.5 hour conversation with Xi, 1.5 hours, the two largest economies in the world, 1.5 hours. His conversation with Putin was over 4 hours. I mean, you know, at some point in time, yeah, we'll get back to talking about the insanity, but you guys already know that. You could listen to anybody sit and spew. Today was the day where Lev and I, from early this morning, have been talking about the frustrations that we're experiencing, not just here on Substack, but also in terms of mainstream and cable news media with the other platforms. How is it possible in New York City that nobody
Hmm.
reached out to me to speak or to even come to a VIP area for the No Kings? How is it they didn't ask Lev? How come they haven't asked Malcolm? Are
And
you
ask
kidding?
me.
Are you at some point in time? Are you kidding me? They'll reach out when we each have 1 million subscribers, because
Hmm.
then it's not about the message that any one of the three of us, they're doing it for their own personal greed. They're doing it in order to be able to go to like a Midas Touch network and to try to siphon off some of their 6 million subscribers. They're not going to them because of what they're saying. They're not saying anything which is any different than what everybody else is saying, whether it's an Acosta, Olivia Troy, or a Miles Taylor, or a
Hmm.
George Conway, or a John Doe. It doesn't matter. They're doing it to siphon off as many people, subscribers, that they can bring, and they're using it. So let me just turn around and say the following.
Hmm.
Do me a favor. Please hit that Chiron up top, cross
Gray button.
pollinate between at least Lev, Malcolm, and myself. You know, You know what really started, Malcolm? I'm not going
Hmm.
to say invite Levin to the conversation because I already had it with him this morning. I listened to this one. So all of a sudden, I was looking at my followers here on Substack,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden, I noticed that there's 20 people, all of whom have purple check marks. All
Mhm.
right. Every one of them is from the Bulwark, and every single one of them have 889,000 subscribers. How come
Really?
20 people, all with the same company, have the exact same amount of subscribers? Because they have a list, they put it out there, they build it up, and they think that that's a way of building a community. That
Right.
is a community of ghosts. What we have is we have dedicated 50, 60,000 subscribers, 70,000 subscribers dedicated, people that
88,000.
join us, people that support us, people that read our Substack. While that number seems like it's a lot, sure, it'll fill up Yankee Stadium, right? You know what it's not going to do? It's not going to win an election. So we
Nope.
ask each and every one of you. I actually had a friend make me a a code. What do they call those? Those QR codes.
Yeah.
I had to make me a QR code that you just scan, and it automatically goes to my Substack page where you could subscribe. I strongly recommend the two of you do that as well.
Oh, it's a good
All right.
idea.
Sure. And at the end of the day, here's the bottom line. We need you to help us to grow. We have done as much as we can organically. And so with that, again, to those of you who can become paid subscribers, we ask you to do that. And join us. We each do individually live Q&As for our paid subscribers. We try to give something back. We do not hold back on our Substack posts. Those are open. We don't hide behind paywalls as other people do. So we just ask, help us, because our goal is to really ensure that the midterms and then ultimately 2028 does not end up becoming a third term opportunity.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Malcolm, take us out, and then Lev,
I'm with
final
you.
words.
Everyone who's here, I know this 1,500, 1,600 of you that are here are the same people that show up, but I know one or two of you have not hit the gray button that says Michael Cohen, Lev Parnas that's scrolling. Press that, and across the bottom, 3 subscribe buttons will come up. And if any of them are red, press it and subscribe. This is not paid subscribers. This is just so that you are now in tune with the system. I have 88,000 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 100,000. These guys need to get the same amount, but we need to share the word. I happen to know that these shorts that I do where we're screaming are extremely popular. They're popular when they get automatically uploaded to YouTube. So you need to go out and help us fuse this message and integrate that. We're not asking for you to pay us. All right. There are a lot of people out there who are hurting. If you're lost your job, do not be a paid subscriber here. We want you to just get the information, listen, become a smarter person, and make better voters out there for us. Oh, by the way, one last thing. Hey, I just did an interview with Jake Tapper. And you guys know I waited for the end of my interview to ask him if Trump was crazy. You'll have to go on to Substack and YouTube to watch that interview tomorrow.
There you go. Lev, take us out, brother.
Hey, listen, I'm a little deflated after the past couple of days with a lot going on. I just want to, thank all of you for the support, for that, with everything that's going on and everything that's happening. No, Malcolm, you just didn't know, but one of my dear friends passed away from an overdose a few days ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear it.
The past few days have been very difficult, but it at least allowed me to reflect on a lot of things and to take a little time to see exactly what's going on. And it's, I think, changed in a lot of the things that I'm planning on doing going forward because, we don't have the time that we sometimes think we do to be able to get to where we want to get to. And time is something that we could never get back. And, and that's why right now, every day that we lose, every minute, every hour, every week month that we lose talking about that, we don't have leadership, or talking about going on the road, or talking about how Trump is doing this, or how our democracy is slipping. Every day we could never get that back the more we do it. So that's why we need to stop talking. We need to start acting.
Act.
Those of you that are on here, most of you are the ones that act. And that's why sometimes I know for you it must be frustrating to hear the three of us say the same thing, because you guys, I see you are subscribing, you are becoming paid subscribers, you're buying the books, you're buying the t-shirts, you're contributing however you can. I mean, I just personally, from my heart and from the people of Ukraine, the GoFundMe, you guys, the work, the help that you've done to Alexander to be able, he's right now currently literally driving there to Kharkiv to deliver the aid that you guys have supplied. So you guys are doing the work. It's not you, and it's not frustration. It's not with our community, our family that we have here. It's the frustration the community is. It's a lot bigger than us, and that's what we're trying to get out there and try. Because, if this was about putting on a show, doing some sort of business, we could be sitting here talking, making conspiracy theories. Believe me when I tell you, I have a whole book of them that, the stuff that I have, or Michael or Malcolm could talk about, you guys would be mesmerized for the rest of your lives. That would have nothing to do with saving our democracy. And people would probably be paying a lot more money for that. That's the funny part. A lot, they would be probably for the
Yeah.
stories, for the industry. So, but I just want to say, for those of you, God bless you. Thank you. Those of you that are new to our channel, or just jumped in here, haven't had a chance, like Malcolm said, definitely subscriptions are for free. The way all of these platforms work, it's algorithms. The more subscribers, the more messages, the more interactions they get, the more then they spread them and other people see them. And that's the game plan, to be able to get out of our echo chamber. That's why I've also joined YouTube now. I know Michael's on YouTube, and Malcolm, I've also just joined YouTube to be able to get the message out. That's not because Substack is not our family. Substack is our family, but Substack is still a small community that's expanding. And the information that we have, we need to get out. So for those of you that could follow us on our different platforms, it's, again, algorithms all over the place. Subscriptions are usually for free. Whatever you guys could do to be able to expand the message, that's the most important part. And we're doing our part. We're standing up. We're trying to go out there. We're trying to figure out how we could build a team, build a coalition, a unification of all these people to do it. So we're doing it. Everybody got to do their part, and hopefully, we'll get to a better, place in our democracy, in our society.
And thank you all for joining us again every Thursday, 3 o'clock. Malcolm, Lev, myself, Completely Unleashed. We'll also let you guys know the first place that we're going to go, and we're going to start going, or trying to go, to as many places as we possibly can. So thank you. Make sure that when the time comes, make sure you show up, and make sure you bring your friends. And with that, I say have a great evening, and thank you for being part of the family.
All right. Bye-bye, guys. See you next week.